Hey guys, welcome back to my studio. So today I'll be sharing with you 80 different sea animals, okay? All placed right here on the table. So I'll be showing you guys every single one of them, share some facts with you, okay? So let's get started. I'm super excited, let's go. Okay guys, so let's begin. 80 different sea animals. First one right here is actually a coelacanth. This figure has been in my collection for like the longest time. It's a really beautiful and intricate, detailed one. Coelacanth is actually an extinct fish, okay? Okay, let's move on into the next one. Right here, we have a beautiful figure of an emperor penguin with a little chick at the bottom. So emperor penguins, they are actually the largest species of penguins around. Alright, let's move on. Right here we have a starfish. So if you flip it over, you can see that it looks really beautiful. I think these are like suction cups where they can stick to like different surfaces. So yep, a starfish for you. Let's move on. Let's see what else do we have. We have a beautiful seahorse. We got this figure like earlier this year. It's a very nice one. You can actually put it on the table like this. So the seahorse actually has a very long snout that will allow it to take on the food. Yeah, basically to suck all the food in easily. Alright, next up, what do we have? We have a whale right here, and this is actually a gray whale figure. Can you guys see all these little spots on its body? They are actually known as barnacles. So barnacles are basically like parasites living on the surface of the skin of the whales. I mean, barnacles can also grow on ships as well. Not kidding you, but they don't really do any harm to the whales. Alright, let's move on. Next, we have a reef squid right here. This is a really beautiful figure. You can see the tentacles are actually slightly translucent. You can slightly see through them. Really beautiful. The eyes of the reef squid are actually very big as well. Okay, let's move on to another figure. How about this one right here? This figure, it's either a great white shark or a megalodon. Yeah, I prefer to call this a megalodon because it looks really big and ferocious. So megalodons are basically like extinct sharks. And speaking of sharks, we have plenty of other sharks right over here. We have this one which looks very fearsome looking, but it is actually pretty much harmless to humans. It is a basking shark with the jaw wide open. It basically takes in all the water and filters out all the small food particles such as krill and shrimp. Okay, so that's a whale shark for you. Let's see what else we've got over here. Okay, there's another shark right here, and you can clearly see this shark is actually a tiger shark because it has the stripes of a tiger. I mean the stripes that looks like the stripes of a tiger. Okay, so that's a tiger shark for you. Beautiful one. Let's move on. Let's take a look at this really interesting sea creature. I think this has got to be the most interesting one in our collection. So this is basically known as a horseshoe crab. So they have existed millions of years ago, but today they can still be found as well. So they are like living fossils. Very interesting looking. I've actually touched them before in one of my local zoo. They actually have this section where they allow visitors to touch the horseshoe crabs, which is kind of cool. Alright, this one right here is actually a figure of an orca. You can see it has like plenty of articulation on the body. You're able to move the flippers, you're able to move the tail. And orcas are actually dolphins, and they are known as killer whales. They are extremely strong and powerful, extremely intelligent. They can even take down a whale. Yep, let's move on. And speaking of orcas, we have another one right here which looks very beautiful. We got this figure like pretty recently, a couple of weeks back, and you can see the orca actually has this fin which is really long. Yep, so that's the orca for you. Let's take a look at other sea animals. Right here we have a beautiful Sally Lightfoot crab. Okay, Sally Lightfoot crab is, I think, has got to be one of the most colorful crabs out there, if not the most colorful. So you are able to find like different colors on its body: blue, yellow, red, orange, purple, you name it. Alright, Sally Lightfoot crab. Speaking of crabs, we have another one, and this is actually known as a blue crab. And do you guys know that crabs, they don't have teeth in their mouth? The teeth are actually in their stomach, which is kind of cool. Alright, so yeah, this is a blue crab, a beautiful little crab. Let's move on. Koi fish. Koi fish are really popular among aquarium lovers, among fish lovers. They are able to live up to like 100 or even 200 years old. Koi fish, not kidding you guys. Very long lifespan, just like turtles. Alright, and speaking of turtles, we have two right here. And let's see, what are these turtles? This is actually a sea turtle, and this is actually a loggerhead sea turtle. Yeah, I mean, let's do a comparison. The shells look pretty much the same, but you can see the patterns on his head is actually quite different. And yeah, the fins, the flippers are a bit more curved for the loggerhead. Alright, let's move on. Another sea turtle. This is actually a Cam's Ridley sea turtle baby. Really beautiful one. Alright, let's move on. We have a pilot whale right here. Do you guys know why it is actually known as a pilot whale? Because all these different pilot whales, they actually swim in pods. Okay, pods means like different groups, and there's always one leader, which is called the pilot. Okay, let's take a look at more figures right here. This is actually a shot. It's actually a mako shark. A beautiful mako shark figure. We got this like quite recently. This figure, I mean, this shark looks very similar to the mako shark, but this is actually a blue shark. Yeah, it is named as a blue shark. Right, let's move on. And here is another shark which has a very unique tail because it is very long. So this is actually known as the thresher shark. Let's see what else we got. We have a few more figures right here. This is a beluga whale. They look so adorable. They are basically like dolphins, and they can actually use echolocation to help them find its way in the water, the ocean. Okay, let's move on. We have another figure right here, and this is actually known as the oceanic white-tip reef shark. White-tip shark, no reef. Okay. Moving on, manta. We have a manta ray right here. So manta rays are basically rays. I've actually seen them before, and the way they swim is really elegant. They will just move their body in a wavy manner, and they will move very fast. Right here, is this a hammerhead shark? I mean, this may look like a hammerhead shark, but it is actually a scallop hammerhead shark. So you can see the difference between a hammerhead versus a scallop hammerhead shark. So this is the hammerhead, and this is basically the scallop hammerhead. You can see some bumps and curves on its hammerhead right over here. Okay, and this is a big hammerhead shark. You guys know how does a hammerhead shark eat? All right, there's actually a use, with the hammerhead. They will use it to press it down its prey and feed while it's being pressed down. It's a mouth like this. Yeah, very cool. All right. Since we have took hold of this ray right here, this is actually a marble ray. So it basically gets its name from its patterns on its body, because the patterns on its body actually looks like the patterns of a marble stone. Alright, really huge and beautiful figure. Let's take a look at some other sea animals. We have a bottlenose dolphin. Bottlenose dolphins are basically very intelligent sea animals. Yep. They are very friendly as well. They like to swim, and interact with humans. With a walrus right here, this figure, we got this like pretty recently as well. It's a very unique figure. Very well detailed. You can see the eyes are very nicely painted. You can even see like the nostrils done really nicely. Yeah, this is a really fantastic figure. And these two huge tusks are actually used to anchor down onto the ocean seafloor while they use their flippers to find food. For example, like scallops. Okay, let's see what else we got. We have a very interesting and a very weird looking fish. This is actually a boxfish. Yeah, it's a boxfish. It gets its name basically due to its appearance. The body actually looks like a box. Right, let's move on. Right here, this is actually an extinct sea creature. I don't have much facts about this, but you can see that it is known as a Prehistoric. and it is like, I mean, it looks like an octopus with a shell to me. Yeah, very interesting sea animal. Let's move on. Let's see what else we've got. We have a jellyfish right here. So if you see jellyfish, do not go and touch them. You might be poisoned. Okay. Let's move on. This is a beautiful crab, which is known as a king crab. It does look like a bit like a spider crab, but yeah, it is a king crab. Very spiky, very thorny. Yeah, king crab for you. We have a clownfish, okay, also known as Nemo. Yeah, I think this is a figure from Finding Nemo, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think so. Alright, let's see what else we've got. This is a beautiful megamouth shark. So megamouth sharks are actually very, very rare sharks that you can only find like really deep in the ocean waters. Right here we have a great white shark. This figure I think is one of my most favorite great white sharks figure in my collection. Here's another one, but this one is definitely not as detailed or as brilliant looking, as realistic looking as the previous one. Let's see what else we've got. Wow, this is a huge fish, and this is actually known as a Goliath grouper. Yeah, it's a huge grouper. Alright, let's bring in all the sea animals together. Let's gather them over here. So what do we have right here? Another extinct sea animal, which is known as an ichthyosaurus. Okay. And this one right here should be a blue whale. Let's see. Yeah, it is a blue whale. Beautiful and majestic looking whale, and this is actually known as a Blainville's beaked whale. Alright, what else do we have? Another dolphin, but I'm not too sure whether this is a bottlenose dolphin. Probably not, because it probably is, who knows. Yeah, it could be just a different species of dolphin. Another dolphin right here, and this is a bottlenose dolphin. Beautiful one. Over there we have plenty of other sea animals, so let me just grab all of them. We have a stingray right here, so not to be confused with a manta ray. The stingray actually has a sting near the end of the tail. Okay, this sting can be very, very deadly. We have a flying fish right here. A flying fish, I mean, they're not really fish that can fly, but they are able to swim at really fast speed, and they can just like, what do you call that? Leap through the surface of the water and down back into the water. So yeah, they're known as flying fish. Very, very beautiful looking fish. Another clownfish right here. This is actually known as a zebra shark, leopard shark. Leopard sharks and zebra sharks, they are basically the same. Yep. Because when they're growing, the patterns on its body actually changes. So sometimes they are stripes, sometimes they are spots. So yeah, they're basically the same species of sharks. And here we have a shark ray. Okay, beautiful little figure. This is supposed to be a giant squid, alright, but it's not exactly that huge in the collection. This is actually known as a largemouth bass. Previously, I've actually shown you guys the oceanic white-tip shark, and this is the white-tip reef shark. Another lobster. Here we have a spotted seal. Okay, beautiful one. With this, it's a bonnet head shark. Okay, it does look a little bit like a hammerhead shark, but the head is actually much shorter than the hammerhead shark. This actually looks like a dolphin, but it is actually a beluga whale calf. Another walrus figure. Yep, so you can see the walrus is actually very, very bubbly. Okay, not bubbly is not a word to use. It basically has plenty of blubber or like fats in its body to keep it warm in the very cold temperatures. Another jellyfish right over here, beautiful one. This is known as the anglerfish, which has a very, very cool mechanism. So it basically has this little light bulb looking thingy right in front of the head, So it's basically like hanging in front of the head, and it will actually attract little fish, little prey, for it to feed on. Here we have an Atlantic white-sided dolphin, the only dolphin with this very unique and very beautiful yellow stripe across the body. Here is another dolphin known as bottlenose dolphin, with a moray eel right over here. Another shark, another great white shark. Lobster. This is actually known as a robber game. A very, very beautiful sea animal known as a nudie branch. They actually come in all sorts of colors. Some are really colorful and beautiful. This one is like more towards the duller side when it comes to the colors. So you're able to find like red, blue. They're really, really beautiful. This is I think this is a nurse shark if I'm not wrong. Not exactly sure. Alright, let's see what else we got. We have a narwhal. This is actually quite a small little narwhal. This is an overgrown tooth. An octopus. An octopus is basically the masters of disguise. They are able to camouflage themselves really, really well. Okay, they can change its color, they can change the shape, they can even change the texture of the body to make them look, for example, like a rock. Here we have a leatherback sea turtle. So you can see the shell is actually very different from the usual sea turtles that you see. I mean, the usual sea turtles, you are able to see like different tiles on the shell, for example, like a hexagonal shape. But for this, you don't. It's basically like ridges on a very elongated kind of ovarish looking shell. Okay? Let's see what else we got. Another, I think this is a squid, or is this like a cuttlefish? It could be a cuttlefish. And this is actually known as this is a prehistoric sea creature, and this is known as an ammonite. It looks like a prehistoric snail to me. Okay, let's move on with a really adorable looking polar bear carp. And another dolphin. This should be the Pacific. No, this is actually the bottlenose dolphin, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the bottlenose dolphin, but I think they have got the paint scheme wrong. Beluga. Okay. We have a couple of sharks and dolphins and whales left behind. This is a pygmy sperm whale. Pygmy sperm whales are actually one of the smaller species of whales around, if not the smallest. Yeah, it is about the size of a dolphin. This is a dugong, and this is actually a manatee. So yeah, to me, both of them actually look very very similar. Of course, the manatee has a more textured skin. Okay, all right, yeah, they do look very, very similar. Okay, let's move on. We are left with like three sharks and dolphins. An orca. This is one of our biggest orca figure. Yeah, a very nice one, I must say. Okay, and this is actually known as a sand tiger shark, and this should be a blue whale. Yeah, so that's all, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'll be very happy to make another 80 different animal videos. Maybe tomorrow I'll do a predator video for you guys. Okay. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.